Oh, welcome back. Taiwan now bracing for what the Taiwanese leadership describes as grim times ahead of Chinese President Xi Jinping's securing an historic third term as the Communist Party leader. President Biden and Xi Jinping are set to attend the G20 summit in Bali next month and will likely have time alone. Meanwhile, new reports indicate there are secret Chinese police stations all over the world, including in the United States. We want to get more on this. Joining me right now is the former Secretary of State. He is Fox News contributor, Mike Pompeo. And Secretary, it's great to have you this weekend. Thanks for being here.
Maria, it's great to be with you.
I was very taken aback, struck by these reports that there is a CCP, Communist Party police, in America, and they claim that they have to have their own police so that they could track crimes by Chinese Americans. We have our own law enforcement in America. Why has the CCP been able to put police stations in our country?
Well, I've seen that reporting also, Maria. They shouldn't have police stations here. They shouldn't be doing law enforcement here. Of course, that's just nonsense. You'll remember we had a huge spy operation being conducted by the Chinese Communist Party. When we were in office, we closed the Chinese consulate in Houston, Texas, where they were operating out of. But this effort of the Chinese Communist Party to influence people here inside the United States, Maria, that's something you and I have talked about an awful lot. This problem is inside the gates. They're telling American citizens of Chinese heritage, you have family back there, be careful, we know where your family is. This is exactly what communist parties do. This is what authoritarian regimes do. We should not permit that to be happening inside of our country. We have to protect every American.
And that's exactly what you did as Secretary of State when we had a string of indictments out of the DOJ because of your focus on the surveillance programs that were in place by the CCP and the theft of intellectual property. Unfortunately, this administration has canceled the China initiative. I don't know why. They're still stealing intellectual property. Isn't that right?
Oh, my goodness. Xi Jinping this weekend, he consolidated power and acknowledge he's still got to steal a bunch of technology for a while. No, they are hard at this. We've seen they're buying real estate in the United States of America, Chinese companies buying real estate in the United States of America near our military facilities. No, this is an all-on campaign to destroy our way of life here inside the United States, and we have to be serious. I regret the Biden administration closed down that program. I hope they are still doing that hard work, the hard work of ferreting out these Chinese influence operations inside of our country. Look, we all saw the Hunter Biden laptop. We need to see what's there. We've seen their espionage and spying here. We watch it, Maria, in our colleges and our universities, in our research institutions. This is a campaign that the Chinese Communist Party has waged against America for 40 years. The Trump administration got it right. We alerted the world to this. We began to push back. It has to continue.
Yes, you did. Unfortunately, it's very hard to trust the commander-in-chief currently because we know about all of those tens of millions of dollars that him and his family has taken in from Chinese officials tied to the CCP. Can we trust his decisions against an adversary that has paid him all that money?
I always look at deeds, Maria, and so far the evidence isn't great. They have rounded the corners. They've done a handful of things on semiconductors. I applaud them for that, pushing back against Chinese semiconductors. That's good stuff. But this work, Maria, this work to counter the Chinese Communist Party is deep and serious and has to be focused on. And I have not seen any of that focus from this administration. They have been weak. Xi Jinping has talked about, he uses the word reunification, taking over Taiwan. This administration hasn't shipped the munitions to Taiwan they would need to defend themselves. I've seen no evidence that the Biden administration is serious about protecting the American people and the West from the challenge presented by the Chinese Communist Party.
And it's so disturbing to also learn that Xi Jinping just got empowered, and on the public stage, he took out his predecessor. Hu Jintao was at the People's Congress, and he was led out of the room against his own will. This administration is also cozying up to the leadership of Iran. And let's talk about what's going on the ground. Iranians lining the streets in protest in Iran, also in Berlin. This picture is just extraordinary. 120,000 Iranians in Berlin protesting the leadership, and yet apparently this administration is still trying to do a deal with the Iranian leadership despite the fact that the people are calling for the death of the supreme leader. Whose side is the Biden administration on? The leadership in Iran or the people?
It's been clear since day one of the Biden administration that they were determined to cut a deal with the Iranians that would give them a clear pathway to a nuclear weapon. Marie, you know this. It was an Obama legacy issue. We undid it. They ripped that back. That is tragic. The pictures you saw from Berlin are really quite amazing because it's been the German government, frankly, that has been so interested in making billions of dollars inside of Iran. So it's great to see the German people recognizing that what's happening inside of Iran today matters. These protests are real. They are serious. They are deep. They're from across economic spectrum. They're across the political spectrum. They're from all regions inside of Iran. This administration is about to hand the Ayatollah and President Raisi, who's the butcher of Tehran, about to hand them billions of dollars in wealth, which they'll use to terrorize their own people, use to undermine the sovereignty of Israel. They still claim they want to wipe Israel off the face of the earth, and that hurts us here at home. That hurts Americans, too. I hope this administration will get their feet underneath them and recognize Israel is our partner, Iran is our enemy, and the Gulf states can be great security partners for the United States of America.
As you have said umpteen times with your Abraham Accords, truly a peace deal for the first time in decades. Secretary, it's good to have you. It's great to talk with you. We so appreciate your leadership. Thank you, sir.
Wonderful to see you.